Okay, so welcome to the deep dive. Today we are going deep on manifestation.
Ooh, manifestation.
Yeah, that whole idea of like bringing thoughts and goals and dreams into reality.
Like making it happen.
Yeah, making it happen. And we've got some good stuff to dig into today. We've got excerpts from a YouTube podcast that takes a pretty practical look at it all.
Right, and I think our goal in this deep dive is to try to pull out the core principles so that you listening can walk away with like a solid grasp of what manifestation is and how you can actually start to use it.
I love that. And one of the things that really stuck out to me in the source material is they talk about thoughts being like seeds.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really helpful. And the universe is like the soil. It's all about planting those seeds with intention and then, nurturing them.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your energy and your focus and, crucially, your actions with what you want to achieve.
You know, what's interesting to me is that it really emphasizes that alignment. It's not just hoping for something. It's about mindset. It's about truly believing. And then it's about the concrete steps you take. The source even says thoughts become things.
Right.
But there's a whole process there that's way more active than people might think.
So let's get down to it. What is manifestation exactly, according to this YouTube podcast?
Like, in a nutshell, manifestation is the process of turning thoughts and desires into reality in your life. It's not passive, though.
Okay.
You need to actively try to harmonize your energy and focus with actions in the real world.
I like that idea of thoughts as seeds. You can have these amazing ideas, these seed thoughts, but if you don't plant them, nothing happens.
Exactly.
So this is about more than just thinking happy thoughts.
It's totally about cultivating the right environment, and that's where that trio comes in mindset, belief, action.
Yes.
Someone might have a really positive outlook, but if they don't actually think their goals are possible, and if they don't do anything about it, well, those goals aren't likely to happen.
Right. It's all connected.
It is super integrated.
Now, for some people, the whole concept of manifestation can sound a little out there. Even the source calls it woo-woo a bit. So is there any connection to science here?
That's a good question. The source material actually mentions neuroplasticity,
Okay.
which is the idea that our brains can change and rewire themselves throughout our lives. And this happens based on our experiences and even our thoughts.
So our brains aren't set in stone.
Exactly. And when you focus on good things and really visualize your goals, you're basically training your brain to be more open to opportunities that match those goals.
Interesting.
Neuroscience gives us a good way to understand how focusing our minds can really shape how we see the world and what we do. And it actually does support manifestation. Like, think about learning a language.
Okay.
At first it's hard, and the neural pathways for that language are weak. But the more you practice, the stronger those pathways get, and the easier the language becomes. It's the same with focusing on good outcomes. You're strengthening the pathways in your brain that are all about achieving those outcomes.
So it's more than just a mental exercise. It's actually changing our brains.
It is. And then there's the law of attraction, which the source talks about too. Now, the science behind this is still being debated, but a key part of it aligns with psychology, like with things like confirmation bias and positive framing.
Okay.
So the basic idea is that what you focus on, you attract. If you're always optimistic and focused on abundance, you're more likely to notice and act on positive chances in your life. But if you dwell on negativity, you might miss opportunities and end up reinforcing those bad experiences.
So understanding the brain science makes manifestation a bit less mysterious.
Definitely. It's not just some abstract force, it's also about how our brains work and the thoughts we cultivate.
But the source keeps saying that action is key too.
Totally. It says that manifestation works best when your inner world and your actions line up. You can have the best intentions, but if you don't take action, what they call inspired action, those steps that really resonate with your goals, then it's unlikely to work out.
So your mindset needs to fuel your actions, and then those actions strengthen your beliefs.
Exactly. It's a back and forth, a real synergy.
So it's not enough to imagine a thriving business. You need to make a plan network. Get yourself out there.
Yeah, you got it.
The mental stuff guides you, but you got to do the work.
For sure.
So let's get to the practical steps for manifestation that the YouTube podcast outlines.
Let's do it.
Step 1, get clear on what you want.
This seems simple, right?
Right.
But it trips a lot of people up.
Yeah.
The source really stresses being specific. Instead of saying, I want more success, say something like, I want to launch my online course and have 100 students in 3 months.
Okay.
And their money example is great. Instead of more money, it should be, I will earn $5,000 extra this quarter from freelance design work.
So why is that level of detail so important?
Well, clarity gives you direction. It guides your thoughts and your actions. When you have that clear picture, You can focus your energy and efforts better. You also become more aware of opportunities that fit with your goals.
Makes sense.
If you just vaguely want more travel, you might miss a chance to house sit somewhere cool, which could be the start of way more travel.
Right. You might overlook those stepping stones.
Exactly.
Step 2, believe it's possible. This
Yeah.
feels like a big one for people.
Yeah, it's huge. Doubt can really block things from happening. If you don't believe you can achieve something, those doubts can sabotage you. The Force talks about affirmations to help with this.
Okay, what are those?
Affirmations are positive things you repeat to yourself, like, I am capable of achieving my goals, or I attract good opportunities.
So you're trying to rewire those negative beliefs.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Our subconscious beliefs have a lot of power. If you intentionally say these positive things that counteract those beliefs, you can start to break free and open yourself up to the possibility of your dreams coming true.
It's like reframing your whole mindset.
It is. You're building a mindset of possibility and self-belief.
Step 3, visualize your success. I feel like this gets a lot of attention.
It does. The Source says the key is to really immerse yourself in the experience in your mind. Don't just see a static picture, but engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you'd have if you'd already achieved the goal.
Ooh, I like that.
Imagine yourself living that reality. What does it feel like? What do you see? What do you hear? Bringing in as many senses as you can makes the visualization stronger.
So it's not just about seeing it, but feeling it too.
Yes, that helps your brain accept that the goal is within reach, and it strengthens those neural pathways again.
Okay, so if I'm visualizing landing a new client, I shouldn't just see myself signing a contract.
Nope.
But I should imagine feeling that satisfaction and hearing positive feedback, even picture myself celebrating afterward.
Yes, exactly. Make it as real and as emotional as possible. The more you do that, the more your brain starts acting like that reality is already here.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. It can really boost your motivation and your confidence to actually take action.
And that brings us to step 4, take inspired action.
Yes. This goes back to what we were saying about manifestation not being passive.
Right. You can't just visualize winning a marathon. You got to train.
Right. The Source says inspired action means taking steps that feel right and that are aligned with your goals. Even small steps matter. They use the example of wanting a new job and then updating your resume networking, applying.
Oh.
That's taking action.
It's like you're showing the universe you're serious.
Exactly. And the Source suggests that the universe tends to help you out when you show that commitment through action.
Like you're placing an order and then following through?
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And finally, step 5, let go and trust the process.
This one's tough.
It is. So many people struggle with this.
How do you let go of the outcome after all that work?
The Source explains that it's about detaching from a rigid expectation of how and when things will happen. Once you've set intentions and taken action, stressing about the details or trying to force a timeline can create resistance.
So you need to loosen your grip.
Yeah. It's about trusting that the universe has its own way and its own timing.
You're trusting that things will work out even if it's not exactly how you pictured it or when you wanted it.
Yes. It's about faith in the bigger picture.
Huh?
This doesn't mean being passive, though. It just means letting go of anxiety and letting things unfold naturally.
Okay, now the source material also talks about some common traps that can sabotage manifestation.
Yes.
It's good to know these so we can avoid them. The first one is being impatient.
Right. Manifestation rarely happens overnight. You need to be consistent and keep trusting. Just because you don't see results right away doesn't mean it's not working.
It's like planting a seed. You have to wait for it to grow.
Exactly. You need that long-term view.
Second trap, focusing on lack. I think it's easy to get stuck there, especially when you're working towards a goal.
It is. The source says that when you focus on what you don't have, you make that feeling of lack stronger, and you might even attract more situations that keep you feeling that way.
So what's the solution?
Shift your focus to gratitude. Be thankful for what you already have. That changes your energy and makes you more open to abundance.
It's about appreciating the seeds that have already grown while you keep planting new ones.
Exactly.
And the third mistake, not taking action, which we've talked about, but it's worth repeating.
It really is. The source emphasizes that manifestation isn't magic. You can't just wish for things. You have to put in the work, those inspired actions we discussed.
Intentions plus effort.
Exactly.
Now, the source has a cool real-life story to show these principles in action. They talk about Jim Carrey writing himself a $10 million check.
Yeah, that's a classic.
He wrote it way before he was famous for acting services rendered, and then years later when he was successful, he apparently wrote himself another one.
That's the story. Those kinds of stories, even if they're just anecdotes, can be really motivating.
They are. They show how these principles can work to achieve big goals. It's about setting that intention, believing, and taking those steps.
It really highlights the practical application of everything we've talked about.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the core message about manifestation that we should take away?
It's that you have the power to shape your reality. It's about realizing that your thoughts, beliefs, and actions are all interconnected, and they